Hello friends, this video on electromagnetic waves part 15 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 14 before going ahead with part 15. Let's look at problem 5. It says that about 5% of the power of a 100 watt light bulb is converted to visible radiation. Okay, what is the average intensity of visible radiation at a distance of 1 meters from the bulb? Okay, so let us suppose that this is the bulb. So this bulb will give radiation in all directions, right? Okay, so it says that 5% of the power of a 100 watt light bulb, that means the power of the bulb is actually 100 watt. The bulb is actually a 100 watt bulb, but only 5% of the power is converted into visible radiation. So that means the light which is emitted from the bulb, that is my visible radiation. So only 5% of 100 watts is getting converted into this light. So that means what is the effective power? That is 5% of 100 watts. So that is equal to 5 watts. So this is the power of the visible radiation. So we have to calculate the average intensity of visible radiation at a distance of 1 meter from the bulb, right? So what would be the intensity at a distance of 1 meter? Let us suppose this is 1 meter. So at a distance of 1 meter, what is this distance of 1 meter? It is nothing but the entire area which is within a radius of 1 meter from the bulb. So what is that area surrounding the bulb? The surface area surrounding bulb would be given by 4 pi r square, right? This would be the entire surface area surrounding the bulb. Okay, it will not be pi r square, remember, it would be 4 pi r square, because 4 pi r square is the surface area of a sphere. When you have a bulb, it will emit light in all directions. So a distance of 1 meter from the bulb would mean a sphere of radius 1 meter, right? Okay, therefore what would be the intensity? So intensity would be nothing but power per unit area, right? So in the first part, it would be power is 5 watts divided by area will be 4 pi r square. R will be equal to, in the first part, R is equal to 1 meter. So this will be 1 into 1. So this comes out to be 0.398 watt per meter square. So this would be the intensity. Now in the second part, at a distance of 10 meters, in this case R will be equal to 10 meters. Therefore, intensity will be equal to power, that is 5 divided by 4 pi r square, that is 4 pi 10 into 10. So this comes out to be 0.00398 watt per meter square. Right? So this is how we calculate the intensity of visible radiation. Now let us look at the last and the sixth problem. It says that in a plane electromagnetic wave, the electric field oscillates sinusoidally at a frequency of 2 into 10 to the power 10 hertz and amplitude 48 volt per meter. So that means the frequency is 2 into 10 to the power 10 hertz and the amplitude is 48 volt per meter. What is the amplitude? This is the amplitude of the electric field, that is E naught. So E naught is 48 volts per meter. So in a plane electromagnetic wave, here also let us assume the wave is moving along x direction. Electric field is along the z direction, which is given as E naught sine kx minus omega t. So the magnetic field will be along y direction, which is given as B naught sine kx minus omega t. So here it says the amplitude of electric field, that is E naught, is given as 48 volts per meter. So in the first part, it asks us to calculate the wavelength of the wave. The frequency of the wave is given here, and we know that the relation between wavelength and frequency is given by lambda is equal to c by nu. So c is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second divided by nu is 2 into 10 to the power 10 hertz. So this comes out to be 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 2, that is 0.015 meters. So this will be the wavelength of the wave. So in the next part, it asks us to calculate the amplitude of the oscillating magnetic field, that is the amplitude of the magnetic field, that is B naught. So again we know that the velocity of light, that is c, is equal to ratio of electric field to magnetic field, right? So from this we can say B naught is equal to E naught divided by c, that is 48 divided by 3 into 10 to the power 8. So this comes out to be 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 7 Tesla. So this is the value of the amplitude of the oscillating magnetic field. Now in the third part, it asks us to show that the average energy density of electric field equals the average energy density of the magnetic field. Now what do we know? What is the energy density associated with electric field? The energy density for electric field is given as half epsilon naught E square, right? We just derived in the previous slide. And the energy density associated with the magnetic field is given as half B square divided by mu naught. Now for an electromagnetic wave, we know that the speed of light is related to this permittivity and permeability values, that is c is equal to 1 by root over mu naught epsilon naught. And we also know that electric field E is given as C into B, that is C is the ratio of the electric field to magnetic field. So using these two, we can write, instead of C we can write it as B divided by root over mu naught epsilon naught. So we get E is equal to B divided by root over mu naught epsilon naught. Now if you square this equation on both sides, we get E square is equal to B square divided by mu naught epsilon naught. So from this we get epsilon naught E square is equal to B square divided by mu naught. Now if you multiply half on both sides, you get half epsilon naught E square is equal to half B square by mu naught. Now what is this half epsilon naught E square? It is nothing but the energy density associated with the electric field. And what is this half B square by mu naught? It is nothing but the energy density associated with the magnetic field. So therefore you can see that the average energy density for electric field is equal to the average energy density associated with the magnetic field. And that is what we had to prove. So that's all about electromagnetic waves. We solved a few problems based on the electric field and magnetic fields for electromagnetic waves, and we also studied about the various applications of electromagnetic spectrum. So see you all in the next lesson. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.